All right, so I'm already going to warn you ahead of time. There's a little participation involved, okay? So get your caffeine going. I've got you for a little bit, right? I'll start. But since everybody's coming from a lot of different locations with different constraints, different strengths, different size programs, different divisions, it's really awesome to hear from other people to see how they are best working through this. So like I said, I've got some of my ideas, but once again, one of my limitations is that I'm a college coach. I haven't been in your shoes. I have not coached high school. So some of this stuff, you might be going, yeah, that sounds cool. Doesn't work here, right? So the big thing with today, take what you like, leave what you don't. But here's the opportunity to start to share some of your knowledge as well, because collectively in here, there's a whole lot of coaching experience. So here's your opportunity to draw on others. So starting with just efficient practice, if you have a purposeful practice, it doesn't really matter what's going to go wrong that day. It doesn't matter that the weather's bad, or that you don't have a lot of space, or that you have roughly a half hour and then you got to run out the door because your job is pulling you away. If you can maintain that purposeful practice, make sure they understand what they're doing that day and what the reasoning behind it is, you're already in good shape. So this, once again, takes work. A quick touch base before practice, and then again after. Just asking them, right? What's the one thing you want to work on today? Your upper level athletes, they're probably going to be a little bit better with this, right? They're like, yeah, I want to work on this particular piece. I want to work on my block arm. I want to work on whatever happens to be. The younger ones, you might have to walk through things a little bit. Like, okay, actually, that's a really good idea, but maybe this will give you a little more bang for your buck. So let's focus in on that. What you also can do is create a little worksheet if you want to ease up your workload a little bit, which I have some of them out on the tables. There's extras in the back. But it's a really simple, just half sheet, right? So the bottom is just the exact same thing, where you start with what is the one focus for today? I cannot tell you how important it is to break things down and try not to focus on every single little thing that's going to go wrong with the throw that day, right? Throwing is so technical that it's very easy to start overwhelming the athletes, where it's like, okay, we fixed this one thing, but this wasn't great. Oh, this next throw, okay, but you missed this, right? Even with my practices, we focus on one or two things that they want to fix that day. We don't worry about the rest of it. We don't freak out when it doesn't go exactly as planned. So you can start that right away. What do you want to work on? The next question I like to ask goes back to that whole thing that they are a whole person, not just an athlete, right? I like to ask, what percentage of effort do you have to give today? There might be some pieces where, they had a hard day at home or school got really tough and they had like 7 tests. Because you always try to tell them, hey, 100% effort all the time. But 100% isn't always realistic, because there are some days you only have like 50% to give. And that's everything. So I like to ask them that right away ahead of time, so you kind of know where their head's at, what's going on. Because then you kind of know what to expect from them too. Doesn't mean you don't push them during practice, but then you can also have that extra piece to it. Then during practice, you can actually start collecting some data. So there's 2 different categories. It's just during practice. It's a space where you can put tally marks. The throws where your one focus point went well, put a tally. And then the ones where it didn't go so well, put a tally.